Greetings and welcome to Ben's Van Adventures. This week, something completely different. We are going to look at a disaster, an idea, some autumn, and some lessons learnt. So let's get on with the episode. Last night, I arrived at a campsite and it was a little bit of a disaster because for the first time in my adventures in the van, I didn't like the campsite. Now, I'm not going to say which campsite it was. All I'll say is it was near Winchester. This is all said with the utmost respect for people who want to diversify in their business, and in this instance, the farm has diversified into camping. I just got the impression that I was being penned in. The neighbours were too close, the fields were a little bit too small for me, and I like being outside in big open spaces. So it was nothing personal, it was just the fact that I didn't get the right vibe basically. So I actually drove home. I'm going to show you some of the footage from last night. Please bear in mind that I wasn't in a good mood, and so I think that comes across. But yeah, here is the footage. So here I am arriving at the campsite, and as you can see, it's in a lovely rural location. There is an ANPR camera, which I didn't really like, but it did actually work. And here we go into the site itself. And on the right hand side, there is the reception. This was about 5 o'clock when I arrived and no one was there. So I've just arrived, but it's all a bit close, isn't it? Look at it. It's a bit small. You can see it in the background. There's rather a lot of caravans in one field, and it's tiny, this site. I mean, just down here is where the loo is. It's quite a walk around the corner to the barn. Okay, so I'm at and I'm afraid I don't like it. It's too small. There's too many vans. There's nothing to do. I'm in the middle of bloody nowhere. And so I'm 40 minutes away from my house, which is the great thing about having a camper van, because you can do what you like. And I'm going to do what I like, and I'm going home. Greetings and welcome to the Lessons Learned segment. This week I'm going to talk to you about the importance of site selection, for obvious reasons, but also about preparing the van correctly when you leave the house. The first thing is all about site selection, and actually I think I'm going to do an episode on how I select the sites that I actually attend and go to every week. However, what I will say is that you do need to have a good look on the website, on pitchup.com, on search for sites, and on Google Maps before you come to a campsite, because last night it was too small and I could have found out this from Google Maps and some more investigation into the campsite itself. Instead, I just went, yes, that looks nice, let's book it. And that was my mistake. So always, before you book somewhere, have a look for things to do around the area, the size of the campsite, whether there's a shop, whether you can walk to a pub or to a restaurant or to a local village, or just generally having a look at the information is absolutely paramount. The second thing I want to talk to you about is leaving the house and actually preparing to go on a trip, because I often rush out of the house and don't really think things through about what I need. I keep quite a lot of things in the van. However, last time I was in the van, I took all of my cups for coffee and tea out of the van to clean them in the house. And guess where they are now? And what this means is that I am actually drinking coffee out of a plastic cup, which is not ideal. So do try and think about what you need to bring on each of the trips before you leave the house. Maybe make a list. So things like cups, have you got clean clothes, towels, bedding, what else? Toiletries, that sort of stuff before you actually come on the trip. And make sure you don't leave the house without taking a lovely cup to drink your coffee in. Cheers. One of the most important things when you are camping is water, and you need to be able to not only store water but also collect it from the campsite. And I'm about to go and do that now, but before I do, I'm just going to show you what I've bought off of Amazon to store water in the van and the reasons behind it. Here is the water container that I bought from Amazon. As you can probably see, there's a tap at the front here that you can open and close, and the water goes in the back here, and this little valve allows the water to come out smoothly. So very simple. You can store it that way or you can store it that way, and I think it's about 10 litres, that one. You can get bigger and you can get smaller. I believe that was about £16 from Amazon, but it's great because you can store it upright and it goes behind the seat in the van and doesn't move about. So let's go and get some water. Every campsite, drinking water is always clearly marked. So here next to the shower block is the drinking water tap. You'll notice places like this in campsites where you can wash your dishes. You should always check whether they are drinking water or not. So I nearly filled them up there. I walked round the corner and there was the actual tap. So always check that it's drinking water. You do not want to be drinking water that isn't drinking water, if that makes any sense at all. A couple of weeks ago, I was sat in the van in bed and I wondered to myself whether I could project my laptop onto a screen somehow in the van. So I looked at it, and with the pop top open, I've got a blackout blind for the window, and that means I could put a screen up there. I've got a little projector, I've had one for ages, and so we're going to test it out tonight. I've got some props, let me show you. This is the little projector with a little tripod. These are the wires, the laptop powers it. This is the HDMI cable. And then off of Amazon, I bought just a cheap white screen. It's got these hooks, or these hook points, these eyes, that you can attach the screen to. So we'll give it a go later and see what happens. So earlier on, I said that I was going to test using the projector and the screen, and this is the solution that I've come up with. First of all, let me get the prop. This thing here is going to go over the window so that we don't have any light. And then I've used clips, so some little clips. I can't get this off now. Here we are, these little clips on the end of the thing, on the end of the projector screen. So I'm going to hook them up here and here. It'll have to go this way round, but ta-da, there we have a projector screen. Now I'm going to set up the projector and I'll come back in a second. Here is the projector on top of the cupboard. My laptop's next to it for the time being, but that's just because I haven't got a long enough cable at the moment, but I will get a longer cable. And if you turn this camera around and sit down, you can see that I have now got a cinema in my van. Look at that. Now I know it's a bit light outside, but later on it's going to look amazing. Autumn is one of my favourite times of the year, and when you're out camping in the van you get to see a lot of different trees and colours and just the sights and sounds of autumn. So I thought I'd show you a little bit of footage from the drone and from my camera all about autumn. Greetings, welcome to the Lessons Learnt. I can't say it, but they really try hard to diversify. I can't speak. Is that you get to experience the different colours and something else. I don't know. Ending. I hope you have enjoyed this week's episode. I'm sorry it was a bit of a mishmash of different content, but I had intended to stay at one of... I don't know what I'm saying. I hope you have enjoyed this week's episode. I'm very sorry that it's a bit of a mishmash of different content. That was just because I didn't stay at a campsite one night this week. So I'm sorry about that, but please like and subscribe to the channel and join me next week on Ben's Van Adventures.